All right, remember, you can get in touch with me and some of the team and share your thoughts regarding today's program. What do you think? Let us know via social media. Catch me on X. I'm at Wahiga Mwaura. Also check out at BBC Africa for plenty of news updates. Well, that's it for the program. From me, Wahiga Mwaura, and the rest of the Focus on Africa team, let's do this again tomorrow. Goodbye.
It's 6 p.m. in London. This is The World Today with me, Christian Fraser. After a call between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, Russia says it will pause attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. But it's not clear whether there's been any progress towards a wider peace. Hundreds of people are killed in Israeli airstrikes on Gaza, the largest series of attacks since the ceasefire began in January. The German parliament greenlights hundreds of billions in new spending to rebuild the military and revive the nation's infrastructure. Also coming up on The World Today, is there such a thing as the world's best penguin? A new competition looks for one bird to take the crown. Welcome to The World Today, an hour of international news from the BBC. We're expecting to hear this hour from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, his first comments since the bombing resumed in Gaza overnight. We're keeping an eye on that. The Israeli Foreign Minister has just told us this is not a one-day attack. The military offensive, he said, will build in the coming days. So we'll take you live to the Prime Minister when he appears. Still to come on The World Today, the latest from the Middle East as Israel resumes deadly strikes on Gaza. And we're going to check in on space, where two stranded astronauts are making their journey home after an unexpectedly long stay on the International Space Station. Around the world and across the UK, this is The World Today on BBC News. Israel has ended the ceasefire in Gaza, launching airstrikes overnight, killing hundreds of people. The strikes took place in major cities across the Strip and have continued through the day. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accused Hamas of rejecting proposals to extend the ceasefire, which has been in place since January. Hamas says mediators should hold Israel fully responsible for violating the truce. We'll stand by for more reaction from the White House. Sarah Smith, thank you very much for that. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back after this. Please stay with us. This is BBC News, the headlines. After a call between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, Russia says it will pause attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. But the Kremlin says a key condition for peace is that Western military and intelligence aid for Kyiv must cease. Hundreds of people are killed in Israeli airstrikes on Gaza, the largest series of attacks since the ceasefire began in January. Back to Earth with a splash. After 9 months in space, two NASA astronauts finally start their journey from the International Space Station. Let's return to our top story. Israel has abandoned the ceasefire agreement it signed with Hamas 2 months ago and has resumed attacks on Gaza. A move the Israeli Prime Minister said was fully coordinated with the White House. Naftali Bennett, very grateful for your time. Thank you for coming on the programme.
Thank you.
Around the world and across the UK, you're watching BBC News. Welcome back. The UK's Work and Pensions Secretary, Liz Kendall, has been setting out today how the government intends to reform the benefit system. She's been speaking in Parliament, outlining what she calls decisive action to get people working who can work and to protect those who cannot. Here's the latest with our political correspondent, Damien Grammaticus. Some comment from Europe. The first comment that we've had on the statement from the White House this evening, President Macron says Ukraine's ceasefire must be verifiable and the Ukrainians, crucially, must be at the table. I can tell you there is a tape feed coming in the next hour from President Zelensky, who's been giving a statement to the press in Finland. We will bring you that in the course of the next hour, along with all the reaction from our correspondents who have been watching developments in the last hour or so. So plenty more to come. Do stay with us. You are watching The World Today here on BBC News. It's 7 p.m. in London. This is The World Today with me, Christian Fraser. Russia offers to pause attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure after a call between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin says a key condition for peace is an end to Western military and intelligence aid to Kyiv. Hundreds of people are killed in Israeli airstrikes on Gaza, the latest series of attacks since the ceasefire began in January. Speaking in the last hour, the Israeli Prime Minister described the strikes in the early hours of Tuesday morning as only the beginning. Also coming up on The World Today, back to Earth with a splash after an extended 9-month stay at the International Space Centre. 2 NASA astronauts are in the final stages of their journey home. Welcome to The World Today, an hour of international news from the BBC. We're going to start with that conversation which has taken place today between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Here are the main lines, most of which was briefed by the Kremlin. It was, they said, a detailed and frank exchange of opinions. They've agreed to stop for 30 days the targeting of energy infrastructure in Ukraine. Still to come on The World Today, the latest from the Middle East as Israel resumes deadly strikes on Gaza. And we'll be heading to space, where 2 stranded astronauts are making their journey home after an unexpectedly long stay on the International Space Station. Do stay with us around the world and across the UK. You're watching The World Today on BBC News. Israel has ended this ceasefire in Gaza, launching airstrikes overnight, killing hundreds of people. In the last hour, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defended Israel's actions, saying this is just the beginning. Helen Catt at Westminster, thank you very much for that. Plenty more on that government announcement today on the BBC website. We've got plenty more reaction coming up on Ukraine and Israel. Do stay with us around the world and across the UK. You're watching BBC News. This is BBC News, the headlines. Russia says it will halt attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure following talks between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Hundreds of people are killed by Israeli airstrikes on Gaza. It's the largest wave of attacks we've seen since the ceasefire began in January. Speaking in the last hour, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described the strikes as only the beginning. And back to Earth with a splash. After their 9-month stay at the International Space Station, 2 NASA astronauts are in the final stages of their journey home. In the last hour, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said combat in Gaza has returned with full force following the biggest wave of strikes on the Strip since the ceasefire began in January. Hassam Zamla, always grateful for your time. Thank you for coming into the studio.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break. Around the world and across the UK, you're watching The World Today on BBC News. We are continuing to focus on the fallout from that conversation today between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Lots of leaders around the world reacting to it. We've had a statement from Emmanuel Macron in recent minutes saying the Ukrainians must be protected in this negotiation and should be sat at the table. You'll see in your screens now President Zelensky, who is on a visit to Finland.
Small car crash.
Yeah. Nicole, I'm just going to say goodbye to our world viewers who are saying goodbye to us. Thank you very much for watching The World Today. But we're going to continue with our UK viewers, Nicole.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, just to say goodbye to those viewers. I interrupted you. I mean, I'm just interested in that moment when you're bumping through the Earth's atmosphere. Is it terrifying? Nicole, thank you very much for coming on the program. Always a pleasure to see you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm a rambler. Thank you for including me.
Not at all. Rumble away. Listen, we've got a special program coming up on the News Channel tonight as Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams return to Earth. Ben Brown will be guiding you through that on The Context. He'll also be joined by the British astronaut Tim Peake and several other experts as the splashdown takes place live. The special coverage begins at 21:30 GMT. You'll be able to follow it live on the BBC News Channel as well, and on the website and the app, so do stay with us for that. Ben's coming up, but we're going to check on the weather with Thomas Schaffenacker.
Hello. It's been a sunny day across the UK, hardly